Once again, we are forced to tackle the outrage industrial complex called Kenyans on Twitter. It's a sad day to see them banging at this young little girl for fighting for her right to film the content. They kept regurgitating the same line that is uh, repeated by the talk show panelists on mainstream media news, the media news. The law is very clear. The law is very clear. Of course, the law exists. There is a law for everything in Kenya. There is a law which forbids you from probably doing the most basic of things, but you still do it. So here we are tackling with an old mindset. We are saying that whether the law exists or not, it was drafted in an era where there was no social media, there was no TikTok, there was no YouTube. So perhaps there needs a review. I was waiting for somebody to come out and say, yes, she has a point. Yes, this law needs review. We need, for instance, when you go to America, you see people taking selfies at White House. But in Kenya, you are forbidden to take a photo of State House, our State House paid with our taxes. Don't you think it's time for a review of some of these archaic and colonial laws? But then you guys now you gang together. Instead of, if you use that energy, you outrage industrial complex, if you use that energy, because I don't know the love affair between Edgar Obare and Kenyans on Twitter, because anything Edgar Obare runs, then KOT runs with it. It's almost like you don't have brains. You've outsourced your brains to Edgar Obare and a few other people. And now you become angry. You become so worked up over somebody who is fighting for their rights because you are cowards. You cannot stand up for something. And if you can't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. That's why you guys are Edgar Obare groupies. Your KOT is a coterie of groupies for Edgar Obare. Now, this lady is challenging. She may have not come in the form or in the mindset that you expected, but she was there. She was telling the policeman, I don't understand. These are state assets. I don't see any security risk. In fact, I think I am promoting tourism to our country because now the internet is far and wide. So if I tell people I'm in the airport coming from Mombasa and I'm shooting there, so I'm probably aiding the government's effort in promoting this fake country called Kenya, a country where we have 13 tourism parastatals, and somebody who is volunteering to do their work is now being met with resistance. Does it make sense? And then you're KOT, you're the bullies, you're the big bully in the playground. Instead of I was waiting for one person just to say, no, I think this law, she's kind of right. This law is archaic, it needs to be reviewed. And then you see, and then some of you are even citing all the, I don't know, protected areas. I don't know what. Which protected areas from what? Is the same reason how we now don't have our flight spotters. We can't have flight spotters at JKIA because some people came up with concocted, Akina Matiangi, concocted fictitious terrorism claims. While we are seeing flight spotters in every other country, especially the European ones, but us, we can't, even Kenya Airways, we can, the plane which is built out every year by our taxes, we can't be able to see it in our country. It has to be spotted in another country. Do you see how stupid that is? Do you see how stupid you look when you're now going for a simple target like what if you converted that energy into fighting for your actual oppressors, the people who are stealing your taxes? Now you're channeling it all on an innocent person just because she questioned. You are useless people, Kenyans on Twitter. I feel sorry for you. And then it was interesting to see now Citizen now or another mainstream media saying, oh, KOT tears in to Miss Trudy. Come on, man. You guys, don't you have bigger fish to fry? Yeah, that's why KOT has become a conglomerate of failures. That's why we no longer use that app the way we used to, because you are all infiltrated. You don't even understand that now you are infected. You're infected with a virus. This virus is called outrage industrial complex. It is weaponized. You are weaponized against your perceived enemies instead of your actual oppressors. That was disgusting to see. Pick on somebody your own size. Why don't you pick on a buffoon like Fred Matiangi, the one who has caused you problems? Why don't you pick on the guys who brought the lockdown and the curfew? Why don't you pick on Moses Kuria and the KRA chairman Anthony Moura, the ones who You saw in the newspaper the other day they were paid to build stadiums. They didn't, together with many other people. Why don't you pick on such targets? But now somebody, a young girl who has chosen to exercise her freedoms, and she's ready to be handcuffed, and you guys are there lecturing her, lecturing her. Don't you get tired of lecturing strangers on the internet? Can't you then channel that energy to the people, to your actual oppressors, to your actual enemies? That law needs to be reviewed. You go to America, even our own MPs, when they go to America, they go and take selfies outside White House. So why can't we take from outside the why can't we from our state house? We could be promoting tourism in our country. Yeah. So these laws were written in another millennia, in another age. I told you that was the age of the Pisces. Now we are in the age of the Aquarius. That was another age, and now we are in a new era. We have all these millennials. They have the social media capital. They could aid in our tourism promotion efforts, but no, we have to walk the moral high ground. We have to be makeshift lawyers. We have to be ambulance chasers on Twitter. We have to be, the law is very clear. Come on, man, you guys, man. That was disappointing. That was disgusting. Uh, pick on pick on the people who have embezzled your taxes. Stop channeling now your frustrations. You become like have you ever seen a couple, and the wife is trying to tell the husband, no, you're cheating, you're alcoholic and what, but she, instead of doing that, she now targets his friends. Hey, you're the one who is spoiling my husband, you're the one who is spoiling my boyfriend, you're the one, you're now channeling that energy into the wrong person. The wrong people are the ones who drafted that law, the colonialists and the elitists uh, at the time, whichever, because I saw those laws are, I don't know, 60s, 70s. Those elitists who were Kenyatta era elitists, they're the ones who drafted them, because they were so brainwashed by Muzungus. They couldn't think for themselves. So everything was done for them by Muzungus. So these are laws that need review, because we need to promote the same installations which have been banned. We need to be promoting them, because we cannot have a government which has 13 parastatals for in the tourism sector alone, and they are not delivering. Now this person can deliver. Imagine if taking a selfie outside the state house, if some few whatever amendments are made, and whatever alterations are made, and then you take a selfie there, and then everyone goes, that's it. Well, now will we be held back by imaginary and fictitious terrorism claims? Everyone is talking about terrorism, terrorism, terrorism. Huh? What are state agencies for? What are we paying all these people for? Huh? We have how many agencies? We have the intelligence, we have the what? We have all of them. If they are working together, then we are safe. We should be safe. Yeah. So these laws need review. We need flight spotters. We need the people. You don't know how much joy it gives, how much inspiration it gives for people to go and watch flights. Perhaps you, because you have access, you're an elite there. You're living your best life from stolen taxes. Stole you from our taxes, which you stole, or your parents stole. You're living your best life. You don't understand what, for these peasants, for these people who have nothing else to do, huh? Instead of going to, they can take their children to sport planes. So why block them? Because you have concocted a fictitious terrorism claim. Come on, man. You guys, let's stop eliticizing our state funded, our tax funded installations, whatever you want to call them. These are public assets. Let people take selfies there. Let me tell you, even the people now who are taking selfies and are doing photo shoots in CBD, it wasn't the case 5-10 years ago. There was a law which was repealed based on pressure. So Miss Trudy is on the right direction now. For you guys to bully her because you've conceded, because you're cowards, she's ready to fight the good fight. You've conceded your duty, your you've conceded your right to think. So let others think. Let those who are ready to push. Don't pull them down because you've been emasculated by the system.